Hi guys, it's me, Sanyya Gardez, and this is my vlog. I don't even know what number it is. I'm assuming it's like number 7 or 8 or something. It seems like I've been doing this for a lifetime. But I promised the vlog earlier in the week, and I completely meant to do it, except it's been like one heck of a crazy week. So just to clarify, one of the reasons I'm doing the vlog in the first place is just to kind of log my journey into the American media. I guess you can call it that. I've always worked in the UK, and now this is my first segue into American media, and it's, I thought it would be nice to chronicle it for anybody who wants to make that transition over, and what to expect, what not to expect, and how to do it. I'm not a pro. I'm a flawed human being. I make mistakes. I've never claimed to be perfect or know all the answers. I'm purely doing this because I think that there are people that might benefit from it or learn from my mistakes. Either way, if somebody is finding any of this useful, it's a good thing. So that's the reason that I'm doing this. I'm not going to spend too much time addressing my previous vlog, except saying that anything that I talk about or anything that I'm sharing with you guys is really my own personal experience, and my intention is not to degrade anybody or make anybody look bad. So I just want to kind of get it out there, because I think that people, obviously people have their own opinions about things, and as do I. And so I think that living in a free country, I'm allowed to talk about whatever it is that I think that needs addressing. So anyway, this week was really amazing. I got to interview, and anybody that's followed me ever for the last few years knows that I know a lot about current affairs, and I know a little about politics, a little about music. I know a little bit about a lot of different subjects, but I'm not an expert on any one field, especially house music, or what's that term? Is it electro dance music or whatever? So I'm not an expert on this, but I have aligned myself with a publicist who is, at the forefront of that, and she got me these interviews with DJ Todd Terry and Junior Sanchez and Alexander Technique. Now, they might not be household names for you guys, and they weren't for me either, but when I started researching them, I realized how impressive they were. DJ Todd Terry is a Grammy-nominated DJ. Junior Sanchez just finished a remix with Katy Perry. He's worked with everybody from Aaliyah to Madonna to just about any big name that you know, as well as Alexander Technique. They've just worked with all of the big names. They've been, nominated and won various awards. So I was privileged to have the time to sit down and interview them for Awesome TV. And my experience with that was, and I've probably used this word so many times this week that I probably don't want to ever use it again after now, but they had so much humility, and they were so gracious. I mean, they don't know who I am. I mean, I'm not a celebrity or somebody that's, a household name, but they just approached this with this really professional attitude. They're completely booked up with DJing gigs, they're traveling, they're doing Coachella, they're, Todd Terry is just coming to the UK. By the way, Todd's going to be everywhere from Birmingham to Leicester to Manchester to London. So if you get a chance, you've got to check him out, because I was at his gig this last week, and it was literally off the hook. It was amazing. And so it was a really good interview. I did it the way I always do. I freestyled it, did a little bit of homework, but not too much, because I think that really kind of makes the interview boring. You want to be surprised, and you want to surprise them. You want to ask them questions they haven't been asked before. And, I don't want to be bored in an interview and know everything about them beforehand. I want to know the basics. I want to know what they're renowned for, and then just really jump into the interview with natural questions. You know, we talked about the music, but we moved over to 9/11, how that affected music and culture in New York and the East Coast. And another disclaimer is that I am not speaking on behalf of all of America. I think I had some comments saying you don't represent all of America, and I don't. I represent myself. You know, the only opinion that I can offer you is my own. So I'm not saying that all Americans think the way that I do, or all South Asian Americans feel the way that I do, but this is the way that all of this is just my own personal experience and my own personal opinion, because this is my vlog, and feel free to do your own and share your own opinions. But it was an amazing experience. I had a great interview, and they were so down to earth. I mean, at first, I obviously was a little bit nervous because, you know, I've interviewed a lot of Asian artists, but, you know, to go into mainstream, and especially with DJs whose music I'm not 100% familiar with, I was a little bit nervous, and I guess that was natural, but it went really well. And this week I'm interviewing this really high-end South Asian plastic surgeon woman who happens to be located on Park Avenue in New York, and she will be discussing, like, you know, our skin and how to take care of it, and, you know, the full realm of beauty and products. So for you boys, it might not be that interesting, but for the ladies, you better watch out for that, because, you know, our skin handles products way differently than white skin or black skin or Latino skin or whatever. And then the following week, I am doing a meet and greet with Vibhasha Basu, and also hosting this event at this fine arts gallery, which I'm actually, like, super excited about, because I'm not an art enthusiast, so it'll be a learning experience for me, and it will be, I will have the opportunity to showcase all of these artists from the subcontinent and, you know, bring them over here. It's a big event, it's a red carpet, it's, you know, it's, so it's going to be really good, and I have to do a little bit of homework for that, but I'm prepared, I can handle it. And besides that, I've just started writing a column for Asian World magazine. It's a Dear Sanyya Gardez page, and I'm like an agony aunt. And the funny thing is that, you know, obviously we all have our problems and issues, and it's interesting that the questions I've been given are questions that I feel really strongly about and can answer. And one of the questions in particular was about this girl who is a student and wanted to become a stripper, and she comes from a really strict Punjabi background, and was asking me what should I do. And coming from a place of non-judgment, my advice was that if you don't feel any shame in what you're doing, then by all means do it. But the world is getting smaller. Through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you're going to get found out. So if you're scared of being found out, don't do it. There's other ways to make money. I was a student, I was struggling, and I waitressed. There's no shame in that. I was working at a cafe in Birmingham to make ends meet, and you know, that's what students have to do. We're not, you know, I didn't come from a house of, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, so I worked my way through my master's, and that's just the way to do it. But I'm looking at the timer, and I'm seeing the timer, you know, it's getting a little bit long, and I know that you guys have things to do and places to go, but that's what I'll be working on, and that is what I am working on. And feel free to message me or inbox me with any of your questions. Any criticism is welcomed, but cursing and name-calling is not. So if you got some hate, please take it elsewhere, because my page will not be welcoming it. Thank you for watching. Love you guys.